I'm here to do what's in the box, but before we do that, I need to tell you something that happened to me this morning. It's very annoying. So, I left the house, I locked the door, I thought I'd put the key in my pocket. I walked all the way to church, I let myself in, went to my desk. Then I thought, better take my key out of my pocket in case I lose it. And do you know what? Can't find it anywhere. I've lost my key. Have you ever lost anything? It's very annoying, isn't it? We look everywhere, we look in our toys, we look under our bed, we look everywhere to try and find the thing that we've lost, don't we? Well, I still haven't found my keys. But shall we see what's in the box today? I'm going to give it a shake, okay? Oh, sounds like there's a lot of something in there. Shall we open it up and see? There's two things in our box and you're not going to believe it. My keys! How did they get in there? Oh my goodness. And this is my little tripod for putting my phone on so that I can make some videos. I've lost that as well and they're in our box. Oh my goodness, that's so annoying because I've looked everywhere for them. Well, imagine finding lost things in the box. Well, today's story is about something that gets lost. Actually, it's not something, it's somebody. And his name's Jesus. And it's a story of when Jesus was a little boy and he got lost. So shall we read our story? Have a look out, see if you can see where Jesus is in our story. Okay, it's time for our story and I've got some of our little figures to help us with it today. So shall we start? So, today's story is in the Bible and Jesus has gone to the big city with his mum and dad. Jesus was only 12 years old and he was really interested in everything he saw and every person that he saw. This is Jesus here. He was looking around everywhere at the buildings and he could see lots of people. It was very exciting for him. Now one day, Jesus' mum and dad, here, there's Joseph and there's Mary, they decided that they were going to take him to the temple. Now the temple was a bit like a church, like we come to Duke Street. And they decided that they were going to take him to the temple one day. Now it was so exciting in the temple. In they went. Jesus had a look around. It was wonderful. It was so big as well. And his mum and dad were with him. And then there were also lots of other people. Shall we meet some other people? Here's some other people. And they spent lots of time in the temple. And you know what they did in the temple? They said some prayers to God. So they talked to God. And they talked about God. They talked about how wonderful God was, how he made the whole earth and everything in it. And they would gather each day and talk about God in the church. Jesus absolutely loved this and he met lots of people who liked to talk about God. Now Jesus was so busy talking to them this one day, he didn't notice that Mummy and Daddy were leaving with some of their friends. They'd finished their trip, their holiday to Jerusalem, and they were going to go home. So off they went. Mary and Joseph walking along, and it was a really long way back to their home. It took them a few days. Now after one day, Mary and Joseph suddenly looked around and they thought, wait, somebody's missing, somebody's lost. Where's Jesus? Oh my goodness, can you imagine? I don't know if your mummy and daddies have ever lost you anywhere, like maybe in the supermarket. Oh, but they feel so afraid. So, they were really scared. So they started to ask everybody that they were with, have you seen Jesus? We don't know where he is. He's not with us. And everybody was saying, no, we've not seen him. We don't know where he is. Oh my goodness. They started to think, when's the last time we saw him? I know, in Jerusalem. So they turned around and they rushed back to the temple as fast as they could. They rushed all the way back. Oh, they were so scared. They got there and there was Jesus talking to all these very clever men all about God. And Mummy said, I was so worried about you, Jesus. We thought we'd lost you. We've looked everywhere for you. And Jesus said, you should have known that I would be at my Father's house, God's special house, because God is Jesus' Father. And so Jesus was at the temple with the people talking about his Father, his dad. After that, Jesus went with his parents, with his mummy and daddy, all the way back to Nazareth. And you know what? He never got lost again. He was a very good boy. He grew up and he knew that Joseph was his dad here on earth, but God was his father up in heaven. And he would talk to the cleverest men all about God. He loved talking about his father. And he knew just how amazing his dad was, his dad up in heaven. And Jesus wants everyone else to know that too, which is why he talked all about it and why all his stories are written in the Bible, so that we can read all about it. So little Jesus got left in the temple. They thought they'd lost him. They searched everywhere, but they did find him in the end, and it was all okay. And they went home all the way back to Nazareth, until Jesus was a little bit older and he started to travel around again, but we'll hear more about that in the next few weeks.